All right, Free Radicals, welcome back. My name is Dave. Thanks for supporting the channel. Views are up, subscribers are up, and vodka consumption by yours truly is down, but we might have to change that after reading this unbelievable piece of journalistic garbage coming from the Honolulu Civil. The Honolulu Civil Beat. You know, there are oxymorons everywhere, and that's one of them. That's civil. Okay, we need to stop obsessing on why she's running for president. It undermines our political process to give her celebrity status. But it wasn't a problem to give Obama celebrity status, right? It's not a problem that Trump was a celebrity and he became the president of the United States, right? Bill Clinton certainly had celebrity status. It's insanity what this article is. Neil Milner. I'm gonna call it Neil Milner. It's gonna take me 5 minutes to read this, according to the Honolulu Civil Beat. Buckle up. It's amazing that 14 months after she declared her run for presidency, that the stupidity and the tone deafness and the fact that these people can only drive in one lane. This is neoliberal. This is the neoliberal order. Still protecting. And by the way, Biden's got this wrapped up, right? Are they afraid Biden's going to, contract the virus? Because he is vulnerable. He's very vulnerable to something like that. Should I say that out loud? Is that wrong to say? Well, he's, 77 years old? Needs to get off the campaign trail and get in isolation. You got a 38-year-old combat veteran still serving the country, and this is how you treat her. This is the crap you're dishing out. Who cares why Tulsi Gabbard is running for president? So they're mad. They're mad because the only strategy Tulsi had left, because they keep ignoring, okay, she's not even here. Let's just block it out. She's not here. He goes, I know I don't, and neither should you. Well, thank you. Thank you. I do care about why she's running for president because it's relevant. It's relevant to who we are as a country. And by the way, in this time of crisis, when you have a leader who now, her ideas are actually being adopted by President Trump, the UBI. I know, it was Andrew Yang, but Andrew Yang dropped out. Tulsi Gabbard took the message, carried it forward. So right there, if you didn't read any more of this article, well, Tulsi Gabbard was the one that really sparked the idea of UBI. You had Ilhan Omar joining in, although she might be writing her own version of it. You had other people in Congress. Oh yeah, UBI. All of a sudden, people started thinking about UBI. And guess what's going to happen in April? UBI. Emergency UBI. Was it far-fetched? Was it a bad idea? Obviously not, because a lot of people thought later on, oh, this might be good. Time to quit wondering, complaining. Nobody's complaining. Nobody is complaining about Tulsi Gabbard. Nobody. Only the chattering neoliberal political class has been washed up, idiotic people like Neil Milner. I don't usually go after people personally, but this article, it's personal stuff. It has nothing to do. It doesn't even mention what she says about why she's running. Because you can use Google, Neil. You can read another article, Neil, instead of your drivel here, which uses the word isolate as a noun. Okay, let me read it to you and see. Do you ever see this written in this way? It's time to see her as the isolate and as the irrelevant minor political figure she has become. Usually you isolate someone, you use that as a verb. You're isolating people so they don't get the virus. Isolate yourself from... But she is an isolate. She is an island. I think. I've never seen the word used that way before. I'm sure if I go check it out, you can use it in that text, in that context, but man, is that stupid. Time to quit wondering. Okay, I'm going to quit wondering about this article. Time to quit, again, same thing. Time to quit wasting time. That cheapens our politics. And so, again, they are so irritated that the one quiver, the one arrow she had left in the quiver, the one where she was going to say, okay, try to ignore me now. Try to ignore me now. And all they can come up with, and you'll see at the end of this, third-party run, Fox News gig. We need to quit wasting time. No, you're wasting time writing this. How's that? This article is a giant waste of time. All we are doing by making those demands about her needing to explain this or do that is keeping her on, it's keeping her on a pedestal. In other words, people might actually talk about Tulsi Gabbard. We can't have that, can we? Unfreaking believable. So enough with the inflated mystery about why she was really running for president. She's not going to tell you anything useful anyway. No, she's going to tell you the truth is more than useful. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? She's going to tell you the truth. She'll do it over and over. You can look it up. She's not big on obligations. Tulsi has refused to carry out the only important ongoing... Oh my gosh. Yes. Proposing legislation all the time. Fighting for the things that can help all Americans, including the people of Hawaii. She's toting up the worst absentee record in the House of Representatives. She's running for president and stuff like that. I don't know if that's true. I'm just going to say, okay, and she's there for some pretty important votes from what I can tell. And she's flying all over the country. She's trying to meet her obligations both as a congresswoman and as a presidential candidate who has better ideas than any of the other candidates running. And quite honestly, there's only 2 candidates left, one of which seems to be ready to drop out, and that would be Bernie Sanders. Hawaii voters used to have a decent relationship with Gabbard, but she's changed. How so? How has she changed? That is such a generic, she's changed. Now, the voters don't have a relationship with Tulsi Gabbard. It's become toxic. How has it become toxic? Because you guys don't like her, right? Because you and the media have determined that it's a toxic relationship. So you're defining the conversation by what you're writing. You're defining the circumstances by what you're writing. And what you're writing is a lie, so it's slander, it's smear. The fundamental thing about Gabbard is that she has become an isolate. Again, with a tight, closed, and inaccessible political and social network, an impenetrable closed circle. Isolated people with closed-off networks make decisions that make sense to the people within them, but, oh, you mean like the President of the United States? I'm sorry. The President of the United States has a closed-off network, and the people around the President. What the hey is this? Seriously. The essence of her isolation problem is not really what she believes. I think people misunderstand and maybe are a little prejudiced when they criticize Gabbard for her religious beliefs. Wow. So this is kind of like a sideways, backhanded attack on her faith. Well, a lot of people just don't like her because of her religious beliefs. And by the way, if they're going to go back again to the LGBT stuff, that her voting record is 100%, 100% with the Human Rights Commission or whatever it's called. The problem, which in fact goes a long way toward explaining Tulsi's unwillingness to go deep about why she is running. Again, this is an article that literally talks past the truth. It's like the truth is walking on both sides of you, and you are just deciding to walk in your little path. The truth is right either side. Go look. Go turn your head a little bit. Neil. freaking believable. She has a network of advisors and confidence that has cut itself off from the rest of us. You mean the news media, the media that you can't trust, the media that constantly has slandered Tulsi Gabbard for 14 months, the media who apparently can't Google and find out, because you can actually look at her at campaign events and kind of find out what she's all about. Even if you didn't connect with her directly, you could watch one of her campaign events. You could see one of her appearances on television. She has made herself virtually inaccessible to Hawaii's media. She's on the mainland right now, campaigning for the most part. So, Civil Beat sent out someone to talk to her. They practically had to reenact the Lewis and Clark expedition. It's just stupid hyperbole. Ooh, the Lewis and Clark. Let's lay some history on you here. Let's be thoughtful and creative like the history teacher for the 5th grade. Well, today we're going to talk about Lewis and Clark. Then tomorrow we're going to talk about the Louisiana Purchase. Wow. This is just cutting edge writing, Neil. Wow, the Lewis and Clark expedition. How creative and how witty, too. I feel smarter just reading this. They had to send out or reenact the Lewis and Clark expedition to get to the place where the guy lives, somewhere on the shores of an isolated lake in the state of Washington. Aw. Wow, I feel so sad. The neoliberal establishment, they had to waste all their money trying to find the guy who lives somewhere on an isolated lake. Results of this solitary journey to the wild? Nada. No interview, no information. Remember, this is a key campaign maven. What's a maven? We are talking about. Who ever heard of an isolated political consultant that no one knows anything about? Oh, I don't know. People who are in government have advisors that are probably isolated. So, this is slander, people. I almost sense a kind of a bigotry going on here, but I can't put my finger on it. But I'm going to go with slander. I'm just going to go straight up and say slander. As far as Hawaii is concerned, her campaign slogan should be no comment. Why? She doesn't say that to anybody. She wasn't big on answering Sean Hannity's question about legalizing all drugs, like heroin. I mean, that's the only time I ever saw her kind of dodge a little bit. I think she probably would say yes, and then Sean would have freaked out and said, no, you can't do that. So she just talked about, she's gone on record as a full, the country needs to stop when it comes to marijuana prohibition. And I agree with that. There has always been more than idle curiosity about what Gabbard is really up to. The furtive mystery woman. Idle curiosity. Because she couldn't just be running for president to get her ideas out there. Now, though, it's time to give it up. They're not even telling Gabbard to quit. They're telling reporters and people, hey, don't play her game. She thinks she's got you. She thinks that you're going to pay attention and listen to her. Don't do it. Just let the mystery be. As far as Hawaii is concerned, again, Tulsi Gabbard's campaign slogan should be no comment. I don't understand why it's so problematic to these people that sometimes you're not going to get answers to questions. Sometimes you're just not going to go there. As a candidate, you're not going to go there. You don't need to. You can watch the videos. You can go to the website. You can go a number of different places. If you don't believe her past public statements about why she is running, well, fine. But that is all you are going to get. And they blow up, the no comment thing here, because that's such an important sentence in this article, this isolate article. Looking for her ulterior motives is like using a divining rod. Why does she have to have ulterior motives? See, they can't understand someone who has principles. She's been blacked out for 14 months. She's not a mystery woman. You've made her into a mystery woman because you've decided you don't want to cover her campaign. I've been following her now since she declared. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was hearing somebody who was patriotic, but who was also progressive, who was independent, but had some different ideas on many different issues. She was a uniter. She wasn't a tribalist. It's all about the suggestive imagination of the searcher. It's not really about finding water. Huh? As for discovering her real reasons, a Fox News gig, a third-party run, whatever, just stop it. Don't ask anymore. That's how we think about celebrities. That's the sports talk show approach. What is Tom Brady really thinking about? What does LeBron James really think of his coach? That really thinking focus subverts the way we need to think about politics. No, not really. Not really. Look, you guys made Barack Obama a celebrity. Trump was already a celebrity when he took office. So I think that's part of the reason why he won. You guys have created this perpetual celebrity culture. Bill Clinton, pretty much a celebrity. Okay? The continuing focus on Gabbard makes politics way too much about discovering motivations and digging up inside dope. Way too much about probing for personality. Oh my gosh, rather than looking at issues? You mean the most issue-oriented candidate in this race, and you're saying it's about like a cult of personality and not about issues? Where's my blood pressure meds? They got to be around here. I mean, the Xanax roller. It's got to be somewhere. Far from being a celebrity, it's time to see Gabbard for what she's become. No longer relevant to Hawaii. Oh, that's such an amazing phrase, and it just has such power. But then they say, more power to her, if that's how she wants to be. But doing that is her way of saying goodbye to Hawaii. She's already saying goodbye to Hawaii. She's not running for Congress again. I know you want her to resign, because, yeah, this is a great time for Gabbard to resign in the midst of a pandemic. That's going to get a lot accomplished. And your special election, how many people are going to come out and vote for that, dimwit? So let's get off our high horse about her and say what, in effect, she has already said to us and what we need to say to her. This is like written by a sixth grader. It feels very much like a sixth grader wrote this, and my apologies to sixth graders, because honestly, I think they could write better. As in the old song by the Weavers, you know, the one about how it's been good, but now it's time. So long, it's been good to know ya. I'm not going to repeat the whole thing. Right now, we all have more important things to worry about. Far more important things. So stop worrying about Tulsi Gabbard. Stop asking questions, because you might find out information that would sway you to support her. Or at least to take up some of her ideas, like UBI, which starts next month. UBI. Yeah. Because Tulsi Gabbard, you can't find out anything about her. You have to, chase political advisors down in Washington State. This takes the cake. I mean, the NPR interview from last year was probably the worst sort of contact with another human being and so forth that I'd heard with Tulsi Gabbard, but I have not read anything this stupid written about Tulsi Gabbard. This is, again, I don't understand and here's the premise. Well, if she's irrelevant, why are you writing about her? You need to stop obsessing. You're obsessing about not obsessing. So you're writing about what you're telling everybody not to do. You're actually doing what you're telling people that you shouldn't do. Unfreaking believable, folks. 14 months, and it's like she's in second place, which technically, if Bernie calls it a day, technically she would be in second place, kind of. I know, she doesn't have the delegates and so forth, and you can argue, but this is like, okay, she's still in the race. We got to make sure nobody knows about her. she might get credit for this UBI thing. We don't want her to get any credit. We want it to go to some squad member of Congress because they copied what she said, and then they took it for their own, and then her name got erased, like it's been erased since the very beginning. This is criminal behavior. This is criminal propaganda. Criminal propaganda against Tulsi Gabbard. And this hits like a new level. And not only that, it's written for really stupid people by somebody who can barely write. Done. I'm done with the video. I support Tulsi Gabbard because, again, ideas matter. And whether she wins the presidency or doesn't, I want her message to go forward until it can't go any further. That's what I want. And yeah, someday if she wants to run in the third party, she's not doing it this time. It's too late. Any political advisor, would tell their candidate, you can't do this, it's too late. Okay? And anybody in the media who doesn't understand like the sore loser clause and the things that are already there, not to mention the fact that Tulsi Gabbard has said on multiple occasions that she's not running as a third-party candidate. And the Fox News gig, there's no evidence that she's going to be working for Fox News. Okay? I wouldn't begrudge her any job that she wanted to take, though, at the end of this, especially because of the way she's been treated during this campaign. She's worked very hard, and she's got very little to show for it, even though she's worked and continues to work very hard, because she's being, erased by people like Neil Milner from the Honolulu Civil Beat. Okay. Blood pressure meds, Xanax roller. If you can support the channel, please do. You're not going to get someone like me ranting on other channels. I'm a little unhinged, and I am a moody SOB. I'll admit it. You can put it in the comments. It's fine. I don't care. Waiting for the vodka. It kills coronavirus, by the way. It does. Or at least I want to believe that. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. And David J. Spurrier at gmx.com for one-time or multiple-time PayPal donations. If you don't need the check that's coming, you might want to send some of it my way. But first and foremost, take care of your family. Stay safe. Stay secluded. Practice social distancing and be vigilant. All right, I'll be back soon. Thanks for watching.